Good morning, everyone. It's September the 3rd, 2023. First off, I wish to thank everyone who has gone on my last video there, A Sad Goodbye, where the young Indigenous lad overdosed and we had his funeral on September the 1st. There's so much more to the story as well that I'd like to talk about, but I like it to be on a mother's side of the story. And it's not just the community has said a sad goodbye to this young man now, but there's so much more being a mother. Now, anyone who's been a mother, like myself, I have a total of 5 children myself, we recognize the miracle of birth. We are the vessels, if you want to put it. We create that life, guaranteed. We do need the male too. He has a role to play in this too. But we have the major role in nurturing this child within our bodies as we go through our pregnancies and bring forth this little miracle from our bodies. And it is truly a miracle that we must treasure. And this is why I'm going to just show you what I'm wearing today, my orange shirt. Every child matters. And this is so terribly important in our Indigenous culture, that every child matters, and it should matter in every culture, whether on all 4 races here that are on Earth. So today I want to give a little bit more of a point of view from a mother's perspective of giving birth and trying to raise a child. And it's even more difficult in today's world, that's for sure, with all the outside influences, and a lot of them are very bad influences that unfortunately we have to deal with today. But I wanted to share a little bit more about the ceremony, that the Indigenous ceremony that we went through on September the 1st. And that was, we had all the pictures, we had the screen up, and this young man's life, it was shown up on the screen. And while we had our Indigenous music playing in the background, then as part of the ceremony as well, was we had a female drummer come in. And this is, again, part of the mother's part of it, where she drummed him into the next life with our song that sends him into the next life. It was very, very beautiful to listen to her. And at this part of the ceremony, I don't think anyone had a dry eye as we continued through the ceremony, because as this young man lay in his coffin, he had the traditional eagle feathers in his hand for part of his journey. The community and the family and the friends had the chance to come up one last time to see this young man lying there and send him off. So in our culture, tobacco is extremely important. And there's many reasons why we use tobacco, from greeting people. This is what we offer in our sacred fires, so that our words, what we say to the Creator, rather than in the white culture, we put a collection plate out and we collect money. In our culture, we prefer to just use the tobacco. It's right from our hearts, and this is what I love. It's right from our hearts. Our prayers are right from our hearts to the Creator. And the eagle is so terribly important, because the eagle is the bird that flies the highest, and so he sends our messages back and forth through the Creator. So as the family, the friends, and the community came up one last time to view the young man, we had our little tobacco ties. Our tobacco ties were placed in the coffin with him while we said our last prayers for his journey forward. Then after that, his mother went up, and this was so touching. And I think all of us in all cultures can very much relate to this, being a mother and bedtime, perhaps reading a bedtime story, and then how you tuck your child in safely at night in their bed, and then you give them that beautiful kiss, and you wish them sweet dreams, and that you'll see them in the morning. Well, this is what his mother did, because on his journey, there is his tobacco pouch. He has our sacred medicines. There's other things that have to be placed in the coffin before he starts his journey. Well, it was all laid out on the table. His mother went, picked up all the items that needed to go with him in the coffin, And the way she very, very kissed it, each item, and then very carefully tucked it in beside him as he continued his journey on to say goodbye, part of the grief process that we go through as well, which is very touching. And I can tell you one thing, the tears were just rolling down everyone's cheek at watching this mother have to put her child and send her child away. And no one should have to send their child away before you go. You were supposed to go before them. And it was so touching. And then at the end, when she finished putting everything tucked in, it was so much like watching a mother just tuck her child into bed and give the child that security, and maybe even tuck a bearer's security blanket or whatever that the child liked in at night. So all these sacred items and that kind of reminded me of what I would do with my children when they were very, very young and babies. And then at the end, she turned around and she gave him, she stroked his hair, and then she gave him a final kiss goodbye before they closed the coffin. So this was so beautiful, and I'm so grateful today that the funeral parlors and that are now letting us do our traditions as well, as through Truth and Reconciliation. And that's one of the reasons I'm showing you my orange shirt, because I also wanted to bring the fact that September the 30th is Truth and Reconciliation Day, and October the 4th is the day for the missing and murdered women. But I can certainly understand, being a mother, the grief that she's going through. But it was wonderful to be able to support her there at that particular time in the ceremony. And I have much more of an understanding, because out of 5 children myself, I've had one that's struggling with the drug addictions too. We're not speaking with one another. There's reasons behind it. The street gangs and that were involved, which I've put up on part of one of my other videos too. Unfortunately, he got involved in the drugs scenario as well. So it's a long story behind him, but he right now is 40 years old, so he's made it to 40, but I almost expect it at some time that someone's going to I'm going to get that phone call, or I'm going to get that knock on the door to say that he's gone. And I've been shut out of his life with the drugs and that. And I have so much more to say on that as a mother who's also witnessing all the drug addictions and stuff as well, that a lot of the stuff that the so-called authorities think that are good are not good. So I'm going to say thank you again. I appreciate everyone who's come in to support this video. I'm going to explain a lot more about my traditions a little bit off and on, because this is nice. I represent the red and the white world, because that's my mix. And it's a matter of coming together, realizing that we all must start to work together. And again, I just want to thank all my people who are on here and for listening to me and are willing to listen to what needs to be said. And we just sent this young man on a beautiful journey. And I know once again, we will meet once again, all again, sometime in the future. And it will be nice, because when her mother is going to one day be reconnected with her children in another dimension. So thank you very much, and we shall talk again soon, and bye-bye.